Up. All right, so we're gonna get right into it in terms of the progress that we've had over the last week since we haven't met, and just kind of outline all the changes and things that are going to be coming into tonight's build on Steam. Um, we are going to be releasing a update tonight based off of everything that I'm going to be showcasing. Going to be hitting the normal Steam branch, and then we'll be hosting a playtest after today's podcast. So just keep that in mind. If you want to join the Discord and partake, feel free. Um, we're gonna start on the hub, and then we'll just kind of go from there. And there's a lot to show, so I'll try and get through it as quick as possible. We're not here for too long, so let me go ahead and load up the monitor, and then basically Dimitri has essentially been going through and kind of just setting up the interior of the hub and getting the assets in for Alcatraz. We set up some initial spawners over here. So he's been essentially just kind of going through and populating this area and setting up the spawners and getting the scale right. You can see there's some collision issues here that he has to work out. So when you do start going ahead, you're going to be spawning in the library area, and then you'll slowly see these areas fill in and get populated and textured as he's just kind of going through and just getting everything situated. You will see some adjustment here and there for scaling, but it is coming together pretty well. The warden's office is over there. This is like a little like security screening area. You'll also notice that we moved the firing range into the back over there, into the back area. So that's something else you're going to notice going into the next build is that. And then slowly but surely, he'll be filling in these windows and doing all the little rooms and just kind of getting everything populated and textured. So that's kind of like his assignment going into the next couple weeks. Since we're already here, we're gonna go straight down to the armory, just so to kind of form a basis of what we've been doing with the operator for the RTS and for the TPS element. And Krieg's here, so I probably will want him to talk about what he's been doing in our playtest when he gets the chance. Because one of the biggest things that was important for me is having it to where the operators were RTS and TPS heroes. So I can make a new one and name it Bob, and then give him the Hanzo mesh, and then load him out with the Scorpion Evo, and then give him, and then take him into the level as an RTS hero. And this is what Krieg has been doing religiously, where basically what he does is that he'll make like 4 or 5 operators and then play them entirely in RTS, because Krieg only plays RTS. So I'll look over there in our starting base, and he'll have like his little squad that he's leveling up, and they're like running around, filling a role, and you'll see there's a lot more on this window since last time we met in terms of basically just kind of adding the level of, customization that we've always wanted for the operator, where you have like some baseline attributes and some baseline abilities that you can map, and highlighting them shows what it does. Now we are missing a couple of abilities, and those are going to bleed into next week in terms of basically getting them all formulated and situated. So like a couple of abilities that we're missing is the engineer's ability to build and repair, the medic's ability to heal, and then the flashbang and throwing a grenade. So those are some of the last items that have to come over to just finish the operators from their onset of having all of their abilities situated. And then at that point, as you level them up, you'll have to pick and choose which abilities do you want to associate with which operators to fill certain combat roles. So there's that in a nutshell. Here, let me use a console command, and I'm going to level up my thing. So character level. I always forget. Hold on. Give me a moment. I should have just, let me do it in the editor. I'll bring up the editor and do it in there instead. So give me one moment. I'm going to open up the editor so I can get the console command because I'm having a slow moment. And I'll just kind of fill the air while that loads up. Is that one of the things, if I can bring it up, I'll just do that while it loads, is that if I go to him and I go to edit weapon, you'll notice that Michael has been filling in attachments for the guns, and the golden standard is the M4 in terms of the amount of attachments and customization that you get. And they've been working on a recoil graph, so people that are playing in TPS understand how the gun kicks and maneuvers and just works in terms of like how you would expect, say, a Rainbow Six Siege or a Call of Duty or a Battlefield to operate. The recoil graph is only relevant for people that are playing in TPS. It does not affect the RTS whatsoever. It's really just there to kind of add a little more nuance to where basically like guns require attachments to fine tune their, performance. And with that, I can do set weapon level. Set current weapon level. Let's do 30. And then if I go to edit weapon, and then you can see I can put on different attachments. And they change the gun. And they change basically different modifiers of like how the recoil of the gun kicks when you shoot. And just basic stats down here. Now keep in mind, this all just came in super recently in terms of like the midpoint of the week. So Michael has not done a tremendous amount of balancing for some of these attachments. So some of them might be a little OP going into the next couple of days. And that'll be something that we're going to have to refine and tweak as we get feedback and as we play the game ourselves. So we can just make whatever changes need to occur to just make sure everything's working and firing on all cylinders. So just be aware of that. Is that for the build that's coming out today? There's going to be some dragons in terms of just kind of that interoperability of the attachments and which ones might need a little bit more nuance added to them. And then Michael wanted to experiment with some ideas of having like 9mm rounds or magazines for some of the guns, but they have higher RPMs, so they fire faster. So that's something that basically Michael put on some of the guns just to kind of experiment. And you can kind of see he has a wide assortment of attachments that he's just been kind of putting in. So this will kind of be how you're able to kind of get your fully kitted, fully customized characters in an RTS game is the operators. So again, don't judge the operators in the limited the set of it's only a third-person hero. It is an RTS hero like Colonel Burden, like Nova. So you can make these characters fit a role and fine-tune them in terms of like, oh, that's the guy that's really good that like at range. He's really good at being silenced, because you can put silencers on there that increase the efficiency of how loud the guns are at distance. That add a little bit more nuance to them in terms of like your quiet teams, your operators that are just going to be doing like your little like covert sneaking around missions and whatnot. And then like you figure Michael, we're holding off on it right now. And I'll open the discussion for this. But one of the things that we're going to look into doing is potentially having like modifiers like Call of Duty long term, maybe around phase 2 or phase 3 that we can squeeze it into for having like changing like the weapon firing kit internals. So like the little superficial settings you can put over here that would change like the kind of round it shoots, or like changing the hop up or whatever, like little simple things that will allow you that there's no model swap, but it fine tunes and changes small little attributes just to add a little more nuance to some of the guns. That's something that I don't have a timeline on, and I'll float the idea now for you guys to discuss amongst yourselves and just kind of maybe bring it up into Q&A. One of the biggest things that we want to do is to get to the point where we can wrap up the operator in the next 2 to 3 days, and then get onto the UI, because it's sorely needed in terms of just fleshing out and getting something that is just more aesthetically pleasing. And we're going to get into that because I have the new UI to show. that we're going to be implementing sometime next week. So if you guys have some feedback or some concerns or things you want to bring up, that would be the perfect time to bring it up. Of just kind of keep it in mind, and then when we get to that section in the Q&A section, then we can go back to it, and then I can forward any kind of feedback or concerns you guys might have to Winter, which is the guy that's in charge of doing the UI stuff right now. So give me one moment and let me bring this up. Hold on. Okay, let me go over here, and then you can see it's reflected in the character. You have the attachments, you have the guns, and all that's working. So let me go to this, and then I'm going to character. I think the console command might have been removed, so I can't cheat. Give me a second. Having a little bit of a technical difficulties here. Okay. Okay. Krieg, are you there? Okay, I'm just gonna pull Dark up. Hey Silver, I'm gonna pull you up into the thing. Can you talk about what you've been playing while I'm trying to find a console command?
I've been playing Half Moon Bay with
So I guess just
operators,
talk about your experience,
and
talk about basically like how it feels, and just kind of go from there. I'm trying to find a console command, so I need someone to fill the air.
operator
Just
wise
across the
or
board,
RTS wise.
like how, the new abilities you've been trying out, and just everything else. Because he's been my tester on Discord. We've been sitting on Discord for the last
Yeah,
couple of days, and everyone that joins, we just play test the build daily, basically. But yeah, go. Sorry.
it's pretty fun. They already limited the abilities to 4, but each one has its use. Some are only used in RTS mode, so that's the thing. Not really good at talking, so let's see. Figure it
I
out
guess the
here.
biggest thing for you is what do you feel like how do you feel about the new ability system for the RTS aspect? Because that's the most important at the end of the day. Is like you've been doing it quite a bit. Is you've been building RTS teams and leveling them up and playing with them, and we finally fixed that bug where some of their progression was screwed earlier in the week. So like I guess kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I like to think each operator is like a multi-tool
Okay.
in a way. Like they all should each individually fill a task as a member of a team. And with the abilities being added, I feel like that's even more. It's more than just an overpowered unit. Like, hey, this guy is really good at killing zombies, but that other guy over there is really good at killing zombies, but he can do that. Now you become more of a army combat knife, essentially. You do one thing, you do another. You have Winter's ability to go invisible. You can fire flares. You get the headshot ability. You can, while an RTS commanding your whole team, you can have just have deploy each section like gunners, like heavies or snipers. Each one you can have each their own gun. You have a ton of operators, or you can just not. They do cost a lot though, so keep that in mind when you're building them. Yeah, combat flares, boy guns, all that. They're all just very fun to play. It's even more fun with other players. It's like everyone's just like, "Whoa, I need help over here." Like, all right, I got you. We're moving. Just really, as an operator, covering in for the RTS players.
Yeah,
Short.
because like you figure like you take an example of like this, I can build both of my operators, Bob and Amber. They're gonna come in, and then once they come in, I can use them as hero units to basically just. And I'm gonna demonstrate this in a second and level them up a little bit. Here, let me put these units in God mode because I don't have time to have the match lose, nor do you guys. So here, let me just kind of push this over. I did make the mode a little bit harder as well. This last patch going into today. I increase the rate at which they spawn so they get more active units in this actual sessions. That's something else you're going to notice going into like tonight is that they're going to be able to repopulate and kind of get their units in a lot faster. And then you can see here are the operators right here and their abilities. So like if I'm gonna put these in God mode for the sake of time, is that if I go in and possess her, you'll see she's using the A12, but you'll also see there's a combat ribbon or like a little ability ribbon at the bottom left that allows you to toggle abilities, kind of like Wildlands or Breakpoint. And then you can press X or you can press C to cycle. We haven't worked out the final UI for that. Just keep in mind that like this is being passed off to Winter to kind of figure out the operator UI and look at like Breakpoint and the Division, other games like that, to flesh out something that looks more cohesive and more immersive instead of just kind of having like everything all the time. You can see it shotgun leveled up. So I leveled up my proficiency for shotguns. So whether you're playing an RTS or whether you're playing in the operator aspect, your characters are always building a proficiency for their weapons. And that proficiency carries over into basically how good they are at like shotguns or SMGs or like sniper rifles. And that allows you to unlock higher tiers of some guns. So, like you say, if you use only a shotgun, you're going to unlock shotguns. And if you use an assault rifle, you're going to unlock assault rifles. So, like, I can literally build like 10 of these people, like Krieg was doing. Krieg, you want to talk about what you've been doing there with like the operators and how you've been playing?
Yeah, so essentially I build, well, I haven't like thoroughly went through it. However, I do have the idea and I did set up 21 operators and I'm leaning towards like outfitting them specifically to like work as a squad. So I typically play RTS and I rely heavily on engineers getting up like base defenses. But I wanted to level up my operators since I'm an RTS player. Most of the multiplayer matches have been relied on that, or I'm opting to do that. I don't get the benefit of like going into first person as much. So the beauty of being an RTS, you can command all of your operators, and you can have quite a lot of them, and section them up into squads. And there is a squad function now, where you can group them up. So it's pretty enjoyable having like 7 guys around with LMGs covering the perimeter whilst I'm building. So, especially since you can actually upgrade them and give them skills.
You can see here's an example of that, what he's talking about, where I took that operator in. And this is the operator that was playing purely in RTS. And he leveled up his rifle proficiency. So right now we're working through a backlog of getting the base attachments in and all the base weapons in. For like the pistol, he didn't really use it that much. But the idea is that now I could go in here and change out whatever I've unlocked. And if I had other rifles, I'd be able to select those based off of as they're getting unlocked. But the most important thing is like right here, I can increase his base health. I can give him different abilities, like being able to deploy his gun, being able to use the combat flare, or the snipe ability, or the cloak, or say we'll do rapid fire, and we're going to increase his health. And then you can see at the bottom now it has those abilities, and I can fire off, say, the combat flare. That animation definitely needs to get tweaked, improved. That's the RTS animation. So the problem is that it does not look very good for the operator, but it gets the idea across. And I can do that in RTS, and I can do it as the operator equally. And the same thing for like the headshot ability, where it changes your next shot to be a special like subsonic round or whatever, and it just does more damage just for that one moment, or the cloak. So the idea is in that way, everything has parity between the RTS and the TPS elements. Same thing for like the rapid fire, where it increases your percent just like it does for the heavy for his ability. Is you can do that and then you have it for that period of time and you get like a 20% boost. Now, one thing that we were talking about, and I'm not really sure if it's something that we should look into at this point, was having it to where some of the abilities could have levels. So then that way you would level up not only the the attributes, but you could use the extra ability points to level up rapid fire or the cloak or the snipe or the deploy or the combat flare, or being able to do other aspects of gameplay. So then at that point, you could make some abilities more efficient than their base counterparts in the RTS elements. So operators stand far and above in terms of basically like their sophistication and their ability to kind of get in there and do something. That's something that me and Michael were discussing internally, and it hasn't really come to a consensus there. Like I've said in the past, we need to kind of get this base skeleton in, and then we can always build this in the future. Because right now we're working off of a hard deadline of around Tuesday to Wednesday to get the last remaining abilities in. And then at that point, we're going on to the UI and getting in this element. So here, let me bring that up so you guys have some context of what I'm talking about for the UI. And then I'll showcase some stuff in a play session with either Krieg or Dark Silver, so you guys can see just generally like how the gameplay loop has evolved since last time that we were here, for those that haven't played the recent co-op builds. So one thing that Winters sought out to do with the UI is to get rid of all of the add-on prompts that appear as you're playing the game. So like we have a lot of pop-ups that appear of like civilian management every time you click on a civilian zone administration, or like every time you click on the barracks you have like that little pop-up on the bottom right. So he's been experimenting and doing different mock-ups and just trying to see if he could figure out a way of bringing down the amount of unique pop-ups. Like here's another example of like he's been trying to figure out if like this is how a generic structure would look. Well, you have your power drain, how much power is in the zone currently, and then there's units under training. Now, I'm still a stickler for the old way of showing unit training, and I'm curious how other people in the room think about this in terms of like, do you guys feel that from a design standpoint, do you guys favor this approach, or do you favor the legacy OG version where we have that little box that just is always there, and it basically is right above the command window? So that's something interesting to bring up and discuss potentially in the Q&A section for anyone that wants to kind of get their opinion in. And then just one of the
I certainly like to look at that one.
So you're advocating
much
for that
more.
approach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get.
It looks to me it looks
Okay.
cleaner. It does.
Okay.
It does. It looks far cleaner than the way
So you
the
like
way
the
it is
more
now.
like fuck it, just streamline it, fit it all into the details window, and just reuse the details window for every time you select something, any kind of contextual action, any kind of pop-up that you get, it always just goes there instead of just on your screen immediately. Right? What kind of, yeah.
That's it. It's how I'm used to playing some RTSs. Some RTSs do that. Some choose their own
Sure.
unique ways of doing it. But when it comes to just quick punchy information that is just there to look at it at a glance instead of smack bang in the middle of the screen, I prefer that over being in my
Okay.
face.
All right. I mean, I'm still on the fence on it. I'm curious to get some more opinions, but I'm not against what you're saying. What are you gonna say, Krieg?
I definitely say like a more streamlined approach to like displaying unit count, because you kind of just want to get to the like quick.
You want to get to the tidbits. You want to get to the meat.
Quick,
Yeah, you don't want to
information.
drag it out as your thing.
Yeah, I want to get to
Okay,
the meat.
I get what you're saying.
No, especially because this is a quick reaction kind of RTS. It's not you're building a nice little scenic idyllic
Sure.
village or anything. You're actively dealing with an outbreak. You've got to be managing your squads. You got to pull them back. You got to be aware. So when you're going through a lot of information, realistically you're going to be glancing at it fairly quickly. So you're going to accidentally lock eyes with a different part of the UI. It happens. And smaller screens, smaller like details. I love details though. I do love my details. I like to read that stuff, but at the same time, it's like you want things to be compact, streamlined, and quick, but not to the point where like it feels undone.
I get what you're saying. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, go. What you're saying?
Well, I think I think the best reference I can use, right, is a certain medieval game that I really, really enjoy. It's also a city builder and strategy game. And some of you may know
Okay.
what I'm talking about. But their units that
Yeah.
you can recruit is literally just basically like that. It's just small boxes of information that's not in the middle of your screen.
You want to
It's
keep it out
just
of the
there
main.
that you
Yeah.
can
Okay.
glance
Okay.
at it.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Now I can. I now that I'm kind of discussing it with people and kind of seeing where you guys are coming from, I can see what you're saying. So I can agree with you there. Fuck, fine. we need to definitely get some more opinions on the channel, but you figure I can definitely see where you guys are coming from. So it's something that I'll open up for discussion, see if anyone brings any other perspectives that we're not thinking of. But you're selling me here. So, but the other thing I wanted to hit upon was just generally like condemning, cleansing. Like those had its own little detail panel in Pandemic for the Legacy, and that is also something we seek to kind of like rectify and unify into like one streamlined, option. So, previously you couldn't tell the health of a bridge. Clicking on a bridge shows the health. Previously when you clicked on a structure in the world, you got either condemn or you got cleanse, and you got information about the zone and whatnot. But it's about basically taking that data and drilling it down. It's the same ideology, the same approach. So again, that's something that we're looking into doing. Right now, he's currently revising this baby, which was the old visual options, which is going to become also host options and local visual options of like preferences of like how do you want your things to look in the world. This is one of the last elements that he's kind of designing and working out, just to make sure there are no surprises of like we didn't like everything is like we've crossed our T's and our I's, and every UI, every window has gone at least like has gone like a polished pass in terms of basically just kind of get it to the point of completion, so we don't have to change it anymore, and it's final. So this is right now as it stands, the UI that's going to be going in. That the moment we finish those 3 abilities that I talked about earlier, I'm going on bugs, crashes, and then he's going on UI, and then that's going to round out phase 1. Depending on the climate, we definitely wanted to see if people felt that they wanted us to put the radio speakers in sooner rather than later, or if they didn't care, and then maybe they wanted to wait till the end of phase 2 for the radio speaker system with the mods and the music support. So we're open to that in terms of basically how people feel about that. So on YouTube or on Discord, do leave your opinions on that in terms of basically would you guys like the music system sooner with the multiplayer support, or would you rather we put that off a little bit longer? We go into phase 2 a little bit sooner, technically like a couple of days sooner, and start just chipping away at the doctrines tree, which is this little baby right here, and getting that re-implemented with the progression, so we can get the airstrikes, the passives, and the new structures and the new unit abilities in, so we can chip away at that and get on the vehicles finally. So that's definitely something that I'm going to just kind of throw in there for consideration. Let me see. Let me check my notes.
I think the biggest thing is we've
Yeah.
talked in the past about getting to the point of
Yes.
phase 2, and I remember saying that do whatever you need to do to get to phase 2 sooner, if you feel like you're running out
Well,
of
it's not
time.
even more so running out of time. It's just basically
And
there's an expectation in terms of like not everyone's going to engage with the operator system. So if we spend too much time in it, we're just going to piss off people. Because you figure like not everyone. That's
Yeah.
not what they got the game for. It's a nice cherry on the top. It's a cherry on top. It's a nice mechanic. It's a nice system. But like it's certain things that we will have to postmark for later. Like how you and I were talking about the what was it? The operator's ability to prone, or like some things like that, where it's like, okay, let's earmark that for the future, or the melee. Let's earmark that in the future. Let's come back to it. Let's get what we've already built, established, and situated, and then we can maybe push that for a couple of days in the middle of phase 2 or towards the end of phase 2, or push another thing in the middle of phase 3 to space it out. So then that way people don't feel like we're only just prioritizing the operator and the RTS elements are stagnating. Because I've gotten a lot of comments about that on Discord of like, is this a third-person shooter game now? It's like, no, it's an RTS game at core. It will always be an RTS game at core. This is just another way of playing the game, but it does not replace it. Does that make sense? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I just want to address that because I know that's been, I think we've gotten like 3 or 4 people mentioning that, and it's like, we've also gotten some people that have been like, well, why are you guys doing the operator now? Well, because we're doing the operator now because we made this mistake in 2022 and 2023 where we tried to put the operator on 2 to 3 years in development, and then we got what we got now. Where if you go on experimental and you go on the normal, it's really, really shitty. But then when we actually build them in lockstep and we build the systems together and they're made from a foundational standpoint of the interoperability to work and the function, then one doesn't negatively affect the other in terms of like the RTS and the TPS work. And they feel great in terms of like, I've had people, like literally we have sessions where people are fighting over who gets to play as the operator. And like Krieg mentioned, Krieg is like our RTS boy. Like him and Hawkins and Quively, same thing with like Dirk Silver, where like they're the RTS guys, and then everyone else is doing their mini missions on the ground, and they're filling in roles where it's needed, and it kind of the synergy works out, and it's beautiful, it's perfect, and it's exactly what I had envisioned in terms of like the gameplay flow. Does that make sense? Of where I'm going for that? Yeah. What were you gonna say though? Because I think you were gonna say something before I interrupted you.
Well, no, it's fine. Well, it's just a case of like, all I was going to say was like, yeah, you don't want to keep going longer with the operator stuff because it will start looking like you're
Absolutely.
prioritizing operator over everything else. And yeah, so I think anything that you can do, right? Even, like you said, cutting out prone, take a lot of the small, minute things that aren't exactly critical or necessary, or anything that would just add bloat essentially to what is already a pretty refined
I
system.
think that
in
when
my
it comes
opinion.
down to it, it comes down to scope as well. But at the same time, like it comes down to the time investment. Is like you figure. I feel like the operator is like in the next 2 or 3 days. I feel like the operator is in a beautiful point where we can cut it and move on to like we can earmark it for a little bit more adjustment and improvement at fixed intervals during phase 2. But like again, like I've talked to a lot of people on Discord, I've talked to a lot of people on Steam, on voice and on text, and everyone I've talked to fucking loves the operator. They have a blast with it, whether it be the RTS or the TPS. So I think they're in a good place. And now, like we get to that cutting point, like we've talked about, then we can get on to like the UI. Because like there's elements in the UI that are just sorely needed that are in like we need to just kind of get it situated. And I can't wait to get this because I sit there and I watch people and I'll join public games that people are playing and I'll watch how they play. I stare at their cameras and I watch like what are they looking at? What are they constantly clicking on? How are they building? Why are they building this? And a reoccurring theme is constantly jerking towards the zone border to figure out like what the power is in the zone, or like someone new joins our game, builds a fuck ton of lights or something else, kills all of our power, and then we almost all die because he didn't realize that like there's no real clean intuitive way of knowing where power is. So like that's kind of like taking the old ugly UI we used to have in Legacy, where if you built like a structure and you clicked on that structure, you had that ugly little like 2D text that would appear above the socks, and it would appear above every structure when you selected them. And it would tell you the power that it was taking away and the power that it was adding. And it's like, that's another like thing that we've sought to refine from Legacy and from experimental is just kind of implementing that from a foundational standpoint in this newer UI. So you don't have to like always be looking at the zone sector information to know what's going on. So I feel like that's another important tidbit of information that we've kind of like looked at and talked to people about to try and find a good, meaningful balance to just kind of hit all the points people need that just like Krieg is it upon really quick information and then move on, keep going. You know what I mean? Because the game is heavily combat oriented and it's very fast. What do you think? Oh, you
Yeah.
say something, Krieg?
I was just agreeing with you, but yeah, no, I feel like to be honest, a lot of the changes to the game through like this operator phase for the co-op, right? It's been very dynamic, and to be honest, I feel like it's actually like lessened bloat in the game
Sure.
overall. Like, I feel like a lot of people were worried about the operator coming in, like isn't for co-op, because they thought, like you said, the game's like genre was going to change. But personally, I think it's just enriched upon it because, like what Jin said in the chat, that there is people in friend groups who love this concept from either older games with, kind of Michael, got the guy's last name in the game, but like those genres, it's not like a massive genre. There's a lot of it's a very niche one at that. But a lot of people do love it. So I feel like the co-op and operator phase like has really given like friend groups an opportunity to have those who are seasoned at RTS and those that are trying to get into it, but also like to run and gun, a chance to experience
Yeah.
that. Like the horde maps. It is like a great little playground. And then obviously at later phases when pandemic is viable, or it's being like pushed out, I feel like it will fit very nicely together, especially with the UI updates that you'll be looking at.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, well, because like right now I'm just kind of demonstrating the Hoid map because like you figure I don't think we've actually shown it in a stream in a couple of weeks, but Efren has done a phenomenal job going through and just kind of decorating and designing the map and just kind of filling in all of the little crevices. And I have been working with him like religiously nonstop to refine this map and get it to where it was more digestible and understandable from a player standpoint and a gameplay standpoint of just being able to pick it up and roll with it. Because like you figure we've been just kind of playing like I think like the version you guys on Steam is very, very old compared to this version in terms of like we're about to push this out very soon, the next couple of hours. And you can see that we've been experimenting with like having like out of bounds zones and then primary zones that the infection spread through. So the idea is that you start in this region over here, which is Ironworks, and you have to defend this strategic resource. And then when this strategic resource is lost, then you have about 20 seconds to retreat to the next strategic resource, which is a little regional command bunker. And then once this is lost, then you have to retreat back to the airfield and hold the last location. And if you lose this one, you're out of the game, it's over. And that's the current direction that we kind of vectored in and we've been kind of playtesting over the last 2 weeks to just kind of drill it down, look at the complaints, look at the feedback, and just kind of try and refine the experience. So like you'll notice that like on this map, there's like a lot more aggressive spawners. Like you get a full 360 radial spawn. I was talking to the guys about we're gonna rename these zones to where it just says infected or it just says like contaminated, and then it will just be red on the border or like orange, and then power won't show up. So like those little like UX and design things that I'm gonna be doing going into like early next week to just kind of finalize this map and then putting in preset gas towers and like other stuff like that to make it very apparent to like the end user you can't go in here and this is why because you're going to die. And then you can see like the infected, like I made them substantially harder in this patch I just released, and like you figure like yeah they're wrecking face. I think I'm gonna lose this one, but I can demonstrate at least the process. So I'll slow-mo 5. and then they clear the objective, and then it's going to flag the next objective, which is this one right here, where it says incoming infected or targeting command. And then if I slow-mo 5 it again, eventually they'll hit it, the health will go away, and then it'll push you back to the next objective. Think of it almost like a pseudo horde mode, rush mode from like Battlefield or something like that. So they're hitting it right now. They're going to destroy it, and then once they destroy it, it's going to push it back to the next zone. So here, let me turn on slow-mo 5 so you guys don't have to sit here. So they destroyed it. Now, and then I'll actually demonstrate this. As you can see that the zone that I was in previously turned to red. And I have to do a small little quality of life change where I need to change the border regions that are like the route or the canal that leads you towards the objective. Like you can't go in these areas because they're spawning areas. So the idea is that like you're defending fixed locations like this, and then you retreat to your next fixed location in this province. And then you set up a point defense within the border of this where they're spawning. And then you mount a defense, and then you fall back to the next point. And the idea is like you can see this border turned red, so now this area has been taken over. And then when they inevitably take this one, then that border will turn red. And that's basically the gameplay direction that we're going into, where it's like a little quick horde rush mode where you and your friends can play, and we can still incorporate vehicles. Because the biggest thing is getting into phase 2, adding the airstrikes, adding all the new support options. Is the map needs to be big enough to facilitate the Ajaxes and the Strikers and the Abrams and the Bradleys and the helicopters, but not too big to the point where like you get lost in the weeds. And the problem that we ran into when we were doing earlier playtesting is that it was just everything at all the times everywhere with the previous horde mode. The map was so large that it would take too long for reinforcements to arrive. The map was too large where people didn't understand where to go, how to play, and what the priorities were. So one of the biggest things that we saw watching people play the game on Discord, because we'll have like sessions where like 6 people in a room sharing their screens. And like multiple developers will join the channel, and we're all just talking to people, having a good time, is just direction and the intentionality of like what's going on and what's the gameplay flow. So I felt like based off of talking to everyone and just seeing what the concerns were, is just kind of doing this like direction and then pushing the UI and the feedback into that direction going into early next week, because there's definitely some more visual indicators we need to give you guys. Like this is nice for that little red indicator that tells players what they're attacking or where they're going, but it's not enough. Like I'm not going to release this and say, oh, that's it guys, it's done. GG, pat myself on the back. No, like this needs at least another 2 or 3 days of refinement for people that haven't been playing with us regularly to basically know what's going on and how to play. So just keep in mind when this comes out on Steam in the next couple of hours, it's not going to, I'll write a text description of the flow, but it's raw. It's very early. I need a couple of days to add the visual feedback and to give the visual indicators of what's going on, why things are happening. So then that way you guys can make meaningful decisions in the moment. Because right now, like I personally still recommend that you play co-op test map as your mainline, fully supported. Like it's going to work. There's not going to be any weird issues, because there's going to be obviously some issues. Like I was talking to Silver about this earlier, is that when I added in these zones that protect the spawner, so you can't just go in there and build turrets, or you can't go in there and do drive-bys on the infected as they're grouping up to attack the objectives, is that there's a bug now where if you tell units to move from here to the Falcon Field, they'll run into this wall and then stop because their navigation doesn't realize they can't make it. So like if you're doing a long move order from here to Bayfront or here, sometimes they'll do that, and you have to kind of like babysit them a direct line from here to here to here to here. And that's fucking frustrating. So it's one of those things where like, I don't want to hold the build any longer, but just be aware I know of it. I'm working on it. Ideally, I can fix it today, but if I can't, it'll be something that I'll address on Monday and Tuesday. It's the first thing on my agenda, is to get down with the level designer and figure that out in terms of like, do we just want to align it with a nav modifier that only affects the AI? Okay, great. Let's do it. let's just, or is there a better process that I can brainstorm that'll make it? Because one of the biggest things that we did this week is I can do stuff and it works, but it's about being easily reproducible. Everything that we prototype, everything that we make, yeah, I can put it together and it works and everything, but it has to be like a new level designer has to be able to take this mechanic and these maps and this gameplay flow and then recreate it for other maps. So that's why it's been kind of like back and forth of like I'll sit in the room with people who are on the channel and they're like, well, do this, do that, try this. And I'm like, okay, I'll be back in 3 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours. And then I'll come back and we'll do another play test. And I'm like, is this good? What do you guys think? Then we have a dialogue, and then I disappear, and I come back maybe this next day or the same day, and we just keep alliterating kind of deal. So it's one of those things where like it's going to be the same thing for this, because you guys might bring things up to me that I didn't really consider, or a variation of things that like is like cool. Like one thing that I think it was Riffreal, or was it you, Silver, that brought it up for the LCAC? Do you remember? That was Riff. So Riff was saying a big issue that we have with early players is that you figure like people want to be able to build units from the onset, and you can't really do that reliably. Like for like operators, because some people want to just buy an operator. Like we'll get like Silent Song or like 3 or 4 players that are designated operators. They're on the ground doing missions. They're in squads coordinating and communicating. And one of the biggest issues is that they're waiting for someone to build a barracks and to do all that. And it's like they could be on the ground helping us erect the base, or when we add in the ability going into Monday, Tuesday for them to build and repair structures that are already pre-placed. Like if an RTS player places a structure, an operator can help and they can repair, they could contribute to the war effort. So that's one of the biggest things is like, we're going to end up making the LCAC in the early part of next week selectable. So then that way you can click on it and you can build and buy your operators as if it was a barracks. Only the operator, and that'll be our compromise. And we'll have to just, players in the server will have to come to an agreement of like whoever the best operator is, whoever has the best characters, you buy yours, or you buy your operators that are geared towards building and repairing and doing medicing. And it just comes down to a communication in every session. Because I can figure, like, we're not going to police it. It's up to you guys. That's why you have the kick option as the host, is someone's coming in there and using up all the money. So that's one of the things that we're kind of seeking to kind of, like, rectify, and just talking to people in Discord. And, you know, obviously, like, you know, we'll basically just keep, like, you know, engaging with you guys on Discord, on Steam. Discord is highly preferred because then you guys can show me what it is you're talking about. You can share screens and we can have a dialogue. So just keep that in mind. I do my best to reply to everyone on Steam, but it's overwhelming. And in some cases, I can't have the level of communication that I have just talking to you in a room and just share screening or just, you know, playing the game together and like being able to like have a conversation. So what I want to do real fast is I want to host a game for Dark Silver and Krieg. You're welcome to join, just so I can demonstrate some of the stuff actually working. It's one thing to say, it's another thing to show it. So if you could join, Silver, and then Krieg, if you can join, we're going to run through it real quickly and just kind of show you guys, and then we'll do it for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we're going to show RTS and TPS and all the stuff working together, of all the stuff that's changed.
You said it.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm not going to say it out loud. It's the same thing. It's always
this.
I know,
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
you
yeah.
figure the only people that can join are people that are in this room for the most part, because we have the server versioning partitioning on. So no one can brute force their way in anyway. So here they are. They're spawning in. So do you guys have to customize anything, or can we just jump in immediately into the session? Oh wait, Krieg, have you tried out the new abilities?
I spent all my points.
Okay, well then so these two are my RTS players, and I'll be playing an operator. Or Krieg, are you playing an operator?
I will be.
Okay, so and then Silver, what are you doing?
Krieg, you have RTS done, or? If
I'm
so,
down. I'm down for whatever. If you want to do RTS, I can do
fill in the
operator.
blank.
I think that you guys think we might want to look into a role selection. You think?
That
Where
would
like
be
basically
nice.
you would,
Especially if it can display like how adequate you are at it
yeah,
as well as like a level.
like
Not like how we do.
like how it would
just
be like the
visual
squad
props.
system here, but it would be like when you join a game, you choose like what is your preferred role. So if you don't have a mic, you're not on Discord, you don't want to write out a whole autobiography in the text chat, you could basically just role check, and then the host would be like, "We need more RTSs. We need more operators. What is going on here?" Because I just realized that is like every game we have, it's always fun to like have this banter back and forth of roles. Like the other night, we had what was it like 10 people? I think it was at Peak Creek. Do you remember the other night? We had like A team and B team
quite
gathering
nice,
over
yeah.
here, and like we had like we had like 2 RTS players and like 3 to 4 operators in each team. Yeah, like we were like, yeah,
like
we were
14
like
people.
on
Say,
Discord.
choose
We were running like a
vegan.
bunch of like public tests. Anyone that's watching, join our Discord. We do this every night practically, and basically we were like breaking up into subdivisions of like, okay, you guys are in A team, you guys are in B team, you're going here, you're going there. You guys have 3 operators, you guys get 3 operators, and they would communicate and collaborate within their fire teams. Basically, was the idea. I'm assuming Ford's gonna play RTS because he's an RTS kid. So, Ford, are you ready to play?
No, he's not. He's an
He's an operator. Are you a real boy today? Okay, you
He
ready?
said
Okay, we're
yes.
going in. I don't
Yeah,
think
he's-
anyone ever uses the text chat that's on Discord. Is the funny part. So keep in mind, it does do a black screen for the host, but everyone else does a loading image. That's something else that I'm going to be rectifying, is that you figure I need to fix that. It's doing a transition level, like in Space Marine 2 or XCOM or any of those other games. We don't have a transition level built to render as like a looping video, like a looping 3D scene. So it's something that I'm going to look into talking to Dimitri about making like a simplistic UI or like a loading screen that's like a 3D model or whatever. So then that way you kind of get something to look at. So right here we have these boys, and for the sake of time, I'm going to cheat a little bit. So I'm going to give us some money. How much money do you guys think we need to just kind of get things going in about 5 minutes or less? 20K? Oh, okay.
40,000.
All right, so there's
$40.
40K. And I'm just going to basically just kind of... Where do you guys want to place the barracks down? Right here, like we always do, and then put a generator? Okay. So I'm going
Yeah.
to shift order that so I don't fuck up your building. And then you're going with a large generator, right, Krieg? Where do you normally place that again? I don't have your strat memorized.
You
I'm
put
sorry.
it where
Okay,
I
there we
usually
go.
put it.
Krieg is like the master builder whenever we play. Like he knows exactly where to place everything to get the maximum out. We have a running banter on our Discord where like I always try and make it Krieg proof for the difficulty, because he sits there and just exploits the holy hell out of the AI and tries to find like every little way of cheesing them, or like, oh, Krieg, I forgot to tell you I made it harder. We're gonna probably die.
Well, you made it
Well-
harder, yes, but you also set the time. To
That's because our
37
LCAC is
seconds.
here now,
We'd usually
sir.
have 3 minutes.
A
Give us a minute 40.
That's asking a lot. I think we
Yeah.
actually lost.
Minutes
27.
27.
Yeah,
we
that's a
did.
hard loss.
Yeah, we
Okay,
lost.
return back to team. Oh, it crashed. Ain't that spicy? Let me log that. I know what that crash is too. And then I will rehost and we'll do one more.
I love how it's been smooth sailing. Like we've absolutely decimated these games. Never had a crash. And the moment we do a podcast, it crashes. We get killed in the
It's
first.
just my kind of
like,
luck
20
today.
seconds.
I am hosting again.
Yeah, it's just how it goes.
But yeah, no, like literally, I was watching Silver play the game all morning, and he was streaming for me, and I was like noticing something when he was playing. It clicked for me. Where I was like, wait, there's only like 20 to 30 max AI on the field at any given time, and I went to go tweak some numbers for their spawn rates, and I probably made it a little too hard now. So we're definitely gonna probably have to double the start time. like what you're saying, the 40 to 50 seconds, because technically this is the first test with those new spawn numbers. So yeah. Do you guys have anything to level up, or are we good to go? Try again. Okay, we're gonna jump
go.
right in.
I believe we could go.
Okay.
I'm Iron Man.
So we'll do one more play test. We'll give it another 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're gonna go right into Q&A. So just bear with us, guys. Let's see. I really gotta get that loading 3D model in. Maybe we'll just do it like what Fallout does, and just have different 3D models that just render, and then you can rotate around them, like the spitter or the blow up guy in like an animation.
Can you put royalty-free elevator
No.
music on that as well?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll let you guys build because you guys know your strat better than I do. I don't use the fucking meta turret strat, and everyone's gonna watch your stream and they're gonna emulate you.
If you can do the watchtowers, I'll get the turret set.
You want me to do it, or you guys are doing it? Okay.
We only got 6 watchtowers.
Howdy. Oh, there you go.
It's always fun just watching people play
I
the
took
game.
4 and I put it on that side.
Yeah, I
I
know.
spent all the money.
Oh, and keep in mind for the ones that are watching at home, is that yes, the drone models are going to change. Sometime around phase 2, I'm going to get Dimitri to model a quadcopter, like the commercial drones that they use, and then the scout drone will go back to being a scout drone only. It's just that was just
We're
what?
dead.
What do you mean we're dead? Did I
We're-
make it
we're
too
dead.
hard?
No, it's just it's too
Mhm.
fast.
You better use them grenades.
It's too fast because even if we ran all the distance
Yeah.
from the beachhead, like how
Yeah.
we used to do it, we had at least 50 to a minute.
I think I might have outdone myself this time. I destroyed the Krieg. I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
No, you haven't. You haven't because you watched me stream it to you this morning as well as
I'll
Dark Souls,
have
and we
you
both
know
beat it.
that was
separately.
before the changes. That was
Did
before the
both beat it.
changes.
I was
No, because I played it
How
before
long
the
ago?
podcast because I thought the podcast was at midnight.
No. I'm talking about this patch came out like 30 to 40 minutes ago.
I know. I loaded in the game and noticed you were in here, and then I ended up joining, and I was like, "Crap!"
Oh
I need
wait,
to,
pause the game.
Yeah, we lost.
charge my
We need to
headset.
retreat the engineers to the secondary position. I'm just gonna run them. We could win this still, I think. Maybe, probably not. Yeah, we're that's actually. You know what?
Maybe.
Let's.
How are those? Wait, hold on. How are those turrets firing?
Where?
There's no power.
You're. Oh wait, no, it
It's
turned
still
off.
shooting.
There was a delay. Yeah, there was a delay. It just
oh.
deactivated when the power got cut. Okay, we're gonna hedge our baits. So we're gonna go back to the hub. Let's see if it crashes this time. Okay, it didn't. Okay, we're going to just retreat to the second point and try and hold that instead.
Sounds like.
I mean, you guys really want to try that point one more time?
Yeah, that's a tactical.
It's a tactical retreat.
I agree with that.
It buys us time. And then I'll go
It
in.
does.
So
The
I'm
engineers are
thinking
going to
40
yourself, take
seconds or a
two
minute, Krieg.
For
No,
what,
for the
retreat or
actual time, because of me lowering it, it's too low. Minute 20, yeah, okay, I can do that. Because you figure with the new spawn like speed, it's 3 times the speed. Because what I noticed is that no matter how much I increased no matter how much I increased the actual, I said that give him a move order. No matter how much I increased like the amount that were being spawned, oh, I didn't get those guys. It wasn't nearly ever enough to give you guys any challenge. And then I realized today when I was watching Silver, it wasn't that. It was the speed that they're spawning because you're killing them faster than they can get in. So they never hit. What's the word? They never hit like they never hit their maximum speed because you're killing them too fast because they're only spawning 1 every 0.2 seconds, which means that you only get so much in like 20 seconds. You get like 100 if you're lucky, and that's not nearly enough. to actually be able to overwhelm you and do their job. So it's like, okay, they're going for that objective.
Yeah, they get picked off pretty quickly.
So with this,
like
yeah.
you see units and turrets just pick
yeah.
them
So
off
with
straight
this
away.
change, it does make it it's basically it's just unforgiving. Like if you're not ready in that moment, you're probably dead. Are we halfway there? Oh yeah, my level designer. We know about this. This building has to be fixed. It's missing collision. This is another reason why I was like, like I have to go fix that, or he has to fix it at the end of this stream, because I just discovered that today.
They're coming.
Oh, they're coming. Yeah.
They're coming.
We're not gonna make it there in time. Okay, I'm gonna have to break out the cheats.
We need a JTL, and they're stuck on a tree. Run.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get there in time. You know, actually, you know what? There is a way of winning this. Okay.
Taking Sam Scott. He's going to be our
Yeah, we
sacrifice.
send Phoenix out there, and he'll be our blood sacrifice.
He's a
Yeah,
traitor.
he's a traitor. He left us to play QA without us.
I was referring Winter as
Oh,
Chelsea.
let me give us that cheap money again, because we're gonna need every last penny before the horde comes in a second. And here,
Stealing one of
Okay.
those engines.
are they here? I hear the combat music.
This one
Oh.
guy.
I don't think you guys actually finished the generator.
Oh, I deleted it.
Okay,
Oh, here they
back
come.
to, guard
Here they
towers
come.
up.
They're taking the guard towers out on the outer perimeter. Or they're just bypassing it. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't care about him.
Oh, wait, no, some of them turned around. That's weird. I'll have to look into that. There's definitely some, like, minute... There's probably, like, a day or two of AI work that needs to go down. Okay, like, whoever decided to build the medium generator and not... Like, you killed us. I mean, whoever decided to do the large generator killed us. We didn't need it.
Dying.
I think I made it too hard. Just a little too
Maybe.
hard.
Maybe. I think I got into your
I
head a
think I
little bit.
really like that.
You become
Yeah,
like
no, you made that meme of
Yeah.
me, and I had
No,
to
why
love
did
because
you delete
there's no way. Like, we're not gonna be able to finish that in time. We have enough power already for the medium.
I was about to finish it.
Oh yeah, no, that's a wrap, kids. That's all, folks. And this is coming out on Steam. There's no way. I gotta double the time minimum of building. Everyone's gonna be leaving me like 20 billion
Yeah,
messages
yeah.
on Steam. I can't beat it anymore, Dark. What have you done? Oh, you know what? I want
Depending on
to
the
give
name,
context for this new difficulty. I have to give context. So this is what I get. So I'm working on the build all day. We're sitting in a room with Krieg and a bunch of other people, like 8 other people. And they're like, it's too easy, bro. Like, we beat it every single time. Like, too easy. I wake up the next day with Michael, and Krieg makes this for some reason. So this is what happens when Krieg makes the game. Oh, you can't, hear it? Oh,
No.
hold on. I'll play it on the other thing. They sent me this after the game was too easy. And I was like, bet. Hold on. Let me actually play it on this one. You hear it now? Hold
Nope.
on.
Negative.
User entered your channel.
Let me fix that. Oh, now it plays.
Ghostwriter.
There we go. So I sent me this.
Every gun we have to fire on that man.
User entered your channel.
What do
It's
you
only on YouTube, probably. It's on general chat on Discord.
Oh, right. Okay.
You got the trolls.
Yeah. Took me way too long to get that update queue. PNG to track the laser bolt.
Do you think you got him?
Sir?
Yeah, blame Krieg for the difficulty. Clearly, I need to bring it down a notch because you figure we were having fun this week in terms of like the different. Yeah, like it's bad as you can tell. We'll try one more time and then we're gonna call it and then we'll move on to the QA. So we're gonna try it one more time. Maybe we can have some luck this time. I'm gonna increase our money and then we need one person to build a barracks and then we need to shit out units. I'm talking like engineers, operators, like everything. Like build a barracks in the starting spot and then run over. And someone needs to, like, who has the best operators? Krieg or Dark Silver or Ford? Okay, so you're going to build every operator you have and
probably have
run them
most.
into the arena. So your responsibility, pause game. This engineer right here is your responsibility. Build it, build a barracks. Build every operator, every unit you can afford with the money I'm going to give us. We're going to flood that area, and hopefully we still win even with console commands. Everyone else is going to run over there. So, Krieg, those are yours. Oh, it crashed.
Wait.
Oh, it was from the ability system. Well, technically, we want that crash now rather than later, because that was from the ability system changes that we did today, from the new abilities. So here, let me save that. Then I'm going to rehost, and we're going to try it again. Fun. Okay, hosting. Okay, join. Let's go. Let's roll it in. Oh, I know what that crash is, too. So,
I blame.
let's see. Okay, everyone's in. Okay, we're going to just jump right in. And basically, so Silver, you're going to grab one engineer. You're going to place down a barracks. Krieg's going to go place down a medium or a heavy, but he has to insta-finish it so that you're not waiting on the barracks. And then go build the guard towers and your turrets. And I'll give us like 40 or 60K for play money just so we can at least have like a very sweaty game at least. See how well it goes.
Are we doing this here or
The
at
first
second
point. There's no way we'll make it to the second point in time. Without vehicles, we can't make it. So pause. This one right here is yours, and then Krieg, you're gonna get the other ones. So I'm gonna send them over, and then those are yours, and then do your thing, Silver. Oh, someone already canceled mine.
I'm having run right now.
Oh. Okay, well I'm gonna do it then. Oh, I meant to build the barracks in the starting area, so that way you have more lead time. You don't need that one anymore.
Oh wait, that's Winters. What?
Why did we
I
build
clicked on
double?
Winters. Oh.
Who's building double power?
Cooking something. That's me.
Oh Lord, we're gonna die. You killed us.
Well, when am I gonna die?
You've killed us again.
Here comes the chopper.
The moment that lands, you're building
garrison
like all the men.
We need garrison tents.
I'm on it.
I don't think that's gonna work. You have to catch it in the next 25 seconds, Silver, for all your units, because if you miss that reinforcement window, we're gonna lose the objective. I know what you're doing.
You're gonna have to give me more money.
There, 40K, go.
My God, they love engineers now. Holy.
I told you that wasn't gonna work. I programmed them. Our only hope was
space and
building a generator, one medium generator, and then doing the massing turrets to buy time for Silver to bring in his operators.
Operators
I don't
on the
think
way.
it's gonna matter.
How
I
long
don't think
has he
it's
got
gonna matter.
left?
Win for
Okay,
drop.
fuck it. I'm gonna cheat one more time. I'm gonna make it to where the horde objective can't die.
Wait, wait.
This is for the sake of playtesting. It's like nobody wants to see us start over again. I already know that we have to basically start over. Like I have to go in and change the balance. There's no way. Oh yeah, I'm sending in my operators. Send in all the men's.
Oh, they're going in.
Hey, one of these is
Each
one of
the
these
mark.
is going to be an engineer if it made it in time. It's a heavy.
These are the. Oh my god.
Some of them might.
Oh my
They're
god.
just
Use an ability.
They're
Use
just walking
something.
in there.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh, that was the
Oh,
wrong
cloak
ability.
her.
Damn.
Cloak that one. Oh, she shot. It's over. Okay.
You know what? Actually, building the startup structures here might actually be the new meta.
Oh, you mean outside the perimeter so they don't get destroyed?
This is your
Yeah, literally.
your operator's
Which
still
one?
alive.
Where is she?
Your operator, Amber. She's over here. I'm controlling her. Make sure she's not dead.
I don't see her.
She's over here on
Oh,
point.
All in all of my operators.
Barely. She's
she's
about to
big
die.
dead. Oh god. Oh god. I don't know why that's happening.
Yeah, for some reason they just all walk towards the thing.
Do we? Oh wait, are we broke? Yeah, we're broke. I gave us
Yes.
40K.
But bro, I'm so glad I have 21 operators.
Did you just order 21 freaking operators?
I'm about to. I could only afford 5.
That is just depressing.
But how are you doing that with no garrison tents?
Yeah, how did he do that with no garrison tent? Oh. Don't know. That's just spicy. You really just called in that many operators, bro. Okay. This is just wild. You have
Well, if it
every
works, it
single
works.
Duke Nukem. Oh god, I'm afraid of these names. Kloss.
Dude,
I made them. I made them
Okay,
YouTube
thank
friendly.
God. I was gonna say the names that you had the other day were like, oh god.
Oh,
Yeah.
those were interesting.
Come on, medical tent. Let's
Say
go.
the
Let's
least.
heal. Okay, you must retake the objective. Pretend like we aren't using console commands for
Garrison
the
tent
sake of
over here?
time. We're gonna need more men.
Garrison tents aren't working.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
because
not.
we're outside the play region. Shit.
No. It works. It works. Oh,
Oh.
scheiße.
That one worked. Oh. I can't center my operator anymore.
Let's see if I can call some people in.
Hey, this levels up my operators, so this is a pretty good.
Are you just farming them at that door? Yeah, you-
No.
Oh, you didn't even give them abilities yet.
Don't worry, boys. Cobra's coming. No, health and infection resistance.
What's for? Did he die? Oh, there he is. I'm gonna screenshot that. That was because I destroyed the barracks in a certain state.
Ooh, we're broke. We're dead.
Okay.
Okay, let's retake the objective,
Yeah,
shall we?
that's my bad.
'Cause we're technically kind of mid-cheating right now. Like,
Yeah,
we
we
would
are.
be dead right now. We'd be dead like 5 times over had I not used those console commands.
Did we break the time scale? Because it's saying minus. Okay, never mind. It changed.
I should have put my girl on a freaking hotkey. This is what I mean by like the UI needs to be put in immediately because I can't even find my operator. Does anyone know where my operator went? Oh, you know what? I left her by the medical tent. Let me hotkey
yeah.
her. There we go. All right, let's push in. Tally ho.
I gotta find my operators.
I don't know where my other ones went. I did
Here,
a lot of like
right here.
15. Circle formation for the
I'm
win.
backing you up with Amber right now. We need an engineer in here so we can start building. And then I'm going to turn off God mode on the Horde objective. And like very soon.
Here's the A engineer.
Okay. You just flood everyone in. Oh, yeah, I guess you have to leave some of them out because they're gonna. Otherwise, they're gonna attack us from the north. All right, engineers are doing their job. I wonder if those generators are going to... Yeah, they should work from the area facility. Yeah, this is going to be the meta. God damn it. Now I have to nerf that and make it to where they come down that lane more accurately. Thanks, Kree. Okay, I'm turning off God mode on the objective. If we die, we die. Oop, wrong key.
Good one, Craig.
Get that spread out. Oh, spitters are hitting us from the south.
Yeah, would you?
We need ammo tents. Oh, she's out of
I
ammo.
can take their perk.
How are we doing on ammo? For you guys in the center. Do we have any
alright.
extra engineers that we can
Yeah,
use
we
to kind of
probably
like
can.
fill it in with medical tents? And the east
Yeah.
side
Yeah.
is getting hammered.
That's
We
a
need
good
more
plan.
people over there. I'm out of ammo. I marked it. I'm gonna send my girl back to get ammo. Oh, you got
don't
one?
need
Okay.
to.
All right, good to go. I should have chose more abilities that fit her tool set for weapons. I don't know why I have a shotgun on her. And then your engineer that was building this structure. Oh yeah, you pulled them off. Never mind, that was intentional. Let's see. Get him out of the way so you can place that structure.
Oh, I would go in and shoot you
What's
right now,
Floyd
Ford.
doing?
Shoot
Oh, are
me.
you? Oh yeah, he's playing as the operator.
For some reason, I can't
Can't what?
go in
Who are
as
you
an
trying to
operator.
select this to go into an operator? I'm gonna try that one. See, it works for me. I stole your operator. Let me leave it. Now try
Yeah.
it again. Try a different one.
It's not working. Let me try
Nah, that won't
console
work.
command.
Try a different operator. Okay, I have to figure out why that's happening now.
Might be because I
You
died.
died as an
Really?
operator?
Yeah, well, I died transitioning into an
Oh.
operator.
Write a bug report when you get a chance in that on Discord, and then I'll see if I can recreate that in the editor and get rid of that, because that's weird. You might have to leave and come back. If you want to, yeah, if you want to play as the operator
Probably.
that badly, you're gonna have to leave the session and come back, and we'll fix it. And then I'll have to fix that going into Monday. Just definitely write a report and tag me in it.
Roger. Roger, Roger.
Damn.
So close to saying meme then, but I don't know.
Meme. Oh
And
yeah,
the
I always do
droids.
that. I always send it to Duravar. People or the stupid
Yeah.
droid memes of Star Wars.
Oh my
What's
god.
going on in the
Oh
middle?
no.
Holy crap! You're getting wrecked.
It's just spitters like very in heat for engineers now. So the moment they see an engineer,
I increased the
specifically go
threat,
after it,
so then that way, like,
'cause
they would target the turrets and they would target the engineers and the socks a little bit higher. So if they can, they'll fuck you every time. So they.
Port says barracks
Okay.
down.
Wait, did we lose our barracks in the main street? Oh, they
Yes.
backdoored us. So we have engineers still alive, right?
Yes.
If
We
we lose
have
an
one
engineer,
engineer.
that's a soft loss.
oh, maybe more. You have engineers in your squad? Looks like it.
Yeah, there's one engineer left, and if he dies, it's over.
Not-
I'm placing. No, it's
Oh,
right
it's
here. I'm
me.
placing on a barracks right now because if he dies, it's over.
or side.
Where's
Oh
the
no, we
second
have
one?
2 engineers. Oh, that's where the other engineer left.
Oh,
I'm using them to
Charlie,
build
yeah.
more power and turrets.
I sent him over to help you, so you can keep those 2 engineers with you. And then I'm going to get some more units. Definitely require more redundancies on those sky cranes. So I think we're about to start getting blow up guys too, so that's going to increase the difficulty quite a bit. We'll give it another wave or two, and then we'll conclude it there. Oh, holy crap! Pause. Hold on. Sorry, my operator was getting burned alive by acid. Yeah,
It's
literally.
like a 9R.
And for the people that are joining late, the 3 abilities that are missing from the operators are the grenade, the flashbang, the healing, and technically the 4th is repairing and finishing constructions that RTS players put down. Someone asked on YouTube, how do you switch between the RTS and the operator? You click on an operator, and then you choose the arrow icon here. When you're in the operator, press B for Bravo to leave it and go back to RTS. I'll do a quick little tally here. Write down some notes. It's good, but it's not good enough. This is not creep proof yet. Like, I'm seeing some areas for improvement, Creed. What do you think?
I'll work around it.
We'll see.
I'll get a bottle of whiskey and then I'll fix it on the weekend. Once you fix me, I end up fixing whatever
We'll
you
see.
make.
We need active medics running around because it's not enough for the. We're not able to out heal the spirit dots. At least not fast enough. I'm gonna build some and just distribute them across the. Oh, we have no population space. When you okay, I see you. You're doing it now.
Lovely.
Wave 7 will conclude and move on to the Q&A. We're out of power. Let me out. Oh yeah.
Indeed.
If they take that generator out that you have nuked there, you know we die, right? There's not really that many
Oh, yeah.
safe areas for you to build is the problem without spreading out and putting walls down. Angry 9-to-5 worker, Jesus Christ! I can only imagine the names that I'm gonna run into as I'm playing. I'll join people's games randomly. Oh God.
Mine at least
Yeah,
have a
yours
theme.
are all named after dark.
Mine's whatever I think of when I hit the keyboard.
Okay.
How much power do we have? We do have power.
I'm definitely gonna Twitch stream the playtest we do later today, guys. So I need to update the Steam broadcast one with the newest version, newest rollout of the game. So just keep that in mind too.
Alright. We won't be able to make fun of Phoenix
No.
anymore on that one thing you did?
He's never gonna get let down those Stellaris days. We're never gonna forget that day. At least I'm power leveling my pistol with these all these free kills from the turret cover. Oh, and another thing I did, Krieg, is I also
I
made
mean,
it to
what?
where just everyone else is that I don't know if you guys noticed it, but the turrets were triggering hit reactions, and it was making it to where the turrets were a little too OP. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
it
did
was lowered to
notice
1%. So the chance of an RTS unit triggering like any kind of hit reaction that stun locks your unit is 1%. Because that was a mechanic that was pretty much only supposed to be intended for the RTS, sorry, the operator, to have those impactful Resident Evil 4 remake, Resident Evil 4 hits, where it's like, you know, it feels like you're actually doing something. I didn't even realize that Ford's been talking the whole time. I feel like a dick. Yeah, he's been talking in
Has he?
text chat. Tense not affecting poll
Oh, yeah.
status. Unable to build more units. 10 no
Build
more.
more team. Yep.
I think it's because of the area that you built it in, Ford. Definitely take a picture and send that to me later when you get a chance of wherever you built that, and I'll look into that. F's in chat for Ford trying to play teamwork and we're just ignoring him. I'm sorry, Ford.
You know games where they have like AI say stuff and text as well as like voice in RTS games? That's how it looks to me.
That was
Aw,
just dark. Alright, yeah.
No, I'm dark.
No, it's,
Hey, I stole some of your operators, and I'm gonna just do a quick little push. I'm gonna power level them in depth. Don't worry.
it's okay. I can bring in the other 18, 12
How many do you
operators.
have in reserve right now for operators? Just curious. What have I done?
I've brought in 6 or 7, so yeah.
They don't have attachments yet, do they? They're all levels. They start out as level 0 when you first brought them in.
I know. Yeah, I made the mistake as well because there is a bug that we know about where if you duplicate one that you've
Yeah.
already upgraded, like as
That
in
should be
give
fixed.
attribute points out, is
That should be
minus
fixed now.
minuses
So see
it.
if that still happens.
Yeah, but these are pre the
Oh.
fix, so I'm gonna need to
Yeah.
delete them all again, and then I'm gonna make very specific
Role-based
like
ones, like a sniper,
role-based ones, but
SMG, shotgun, yeah.
yeah.
That's what I need to do.
How my guys are.
And then I'm gonna have one crew that is specifically for like just LMG.
Don't worry, I'll be
standfire.
nerfing your turret meta as well. Not a turret, the guard tower meta. I'm gonna be working on their AI, or rather their damage.
Oh, guard tower was already like.
Well, the
tower's
guard
already low.
towers,
They don't really
they need
do much.
some.
of them.
No, they
They're
aren't.
useless now. I can show. No,
They're
they're
additives.
useless. I'm not. For
free
my building, like it's not worth the money, and it's not worth the time that it takes to
Really?
build them. To be honest, I'm probably just gonna go straight. Yeah, I'm gonna be going straight for units again and turrets like I did in the previous
Alright.
Horde map, when I just built like 50 engineers.
I don't think you need 50 engineers, but all right.
I would do that and put them
there
in a circle group, and then just have them patrol
Oh,
around. The
are you doing the
objectives.
squad
You're
system,
unstoppable.
Dark? Oh, let me show that. Let me show that for the people
Yes.
that are new. So, squad, Bravo, take control of you. Command them.
Whoa, who did that? Oh, that's our only
was me.
engineer.
Go get heals.
Someone nearly killed our only
Was it
engineer.
me?
Oh damn.
Oh, okay, I'm not bringing that guy over there.
Damn, I lost one of your boys, Krieg. I'm sorry. I'm not.
It's,
I'm not.
it's
really
okay.
sorry.
I have
I'm not really sorry.
hundreds.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
You know, I just feel like probably later on we'll probably have to add it to where you can issue like ability orders to other people. You know, when you're playing as the operator. I don't know. I just feel like you should be able to do that.
I see
Not
that.
now,
Yeah.
but
Look,
yeah,
We're having a
that.
problem
'Cause
earlier.
you need to be able to
It's
tell your
weird.
units to cloak. You need to be able to tell your units to use their abilities, and we need to find some quick contextual action way of doing that. Because I can see with these operators right now, I'm at a disability of how like versatile they are when someone's playing as them or playing as RTS, but they're not nearly as effective when you're commanding them in their current mode.
I'll bring up something Ford just brought up. The pop.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
yeah, I'm trying to fix it by getting this engineer to build them next to the thing because they were working there.
I'm gonna look into that because that might. I think I know what that's from.
Personally, I blame.
He's not even
Phoenix.
here.
Same.
Exactly.
Same here. I blame Phoenix too.
Duke Nukem Krieg Corps. Are you gonna at least give this guy like a big gun later on?
Want Duke Nukem? I was just gonna like see if I could make when Schmores come back. I'm just gonna have a bunch of guys.
Okay.
Nukem only needs a pistol. What you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we will call it at that point then, and then we can move on to the Q&A. I'll just let them keep playing, so if we have a visual aid, while we do
There
it.
we go.
So I'll take questions
working
now.
now.
So if you guys have questions on Discord, if you have questions on YouTube, you have questions on the Steam store, feed them in, and I'm just gonna keep the stream up so you guys have a visual aid to watch. We'll take questions for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll conclude. And at that point, I'm gonna go nerf the balance a little bit, make it a little. Oh god damn it, make it a little bit easier, and then from there, put a patch out on Steam for everyone to play, and then we'll jump into Discord and host a public session. I'll Twitch stream on my personal Twitch. And lost another operator.
Day night.
I know.
Working. Oh dang, lost my operator.
That was something I was working on. I did not get a chance to finish that before the podcast today. Oh fuck! No! Ah, man. Okay, let me just go hide.
Well,
We're folding. We're
I actually-
the
folding.
operation. That's
Oh god damn it!
I actually have to. I've got to dip. I've got to go work. I thought we were still on the old schedule for
Oh,
the.
you're good. I think
podcast.
everyone's
That's my
dead.
bad.
Did we just lose?
Yeah, we
what
did. Yes.
happened?
We lost
so I
some
can
of the
write
engine
that
now.
down. I wasn't looking. How'd they beat
operators
us?
go over.
They always slip through the cracks because there's so many of them. You need such firepower in order to like wipe them out when they're funneling. And then
it is creek proof.
Your units, your towers, and your. It's not. I will get around it. I already know how to get around it because it worked before. Hascos, just piling Hascos, having like I said, I'm just going to rely on infantry these days and turrets.
We'll see.
And by the time, because if I can make it where it will develop enough threat that they'll try and break through the Hasco barriers, that they just waste time. So they're all sat there, and then the cannon turrets can AOE them.
I will.
I just know that we started losing because my operators started falling like flies. I was like,
I
whoa,
will
what the heck?
agree to disagree. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna hold the jury out and see how far you can get in a couple of days. All right. So question 5.
Goodbye, have a good
Let's see.
time.
So silent song. When it comes to the defenses of the objectives, most people will be focused on the approaching people and not the exact actual objective. So a large banner or a voiced line needs to inform everyone that he has fallen and everyone needs to run. I think this can also be used in Pandemic. I'm sure you can find a use for it. And that's what Silent Song asked on Discord. Yeah, and that underlines what I was talking about earlier in the podcast, where one of the things that needs to be done, that's why I'm saying this mode is not definitely ready for like general consumption unless you go into it understanding there's some rough edges like what we just showed, is that I need to add the UI and I need to add audio cues that explain to the end user like what is going on, what stage are you in, and just like I would say probably about another day or two, I might bug Winter or like another voice actor that we know just to really quickly just throw together something for like an announcer just to let people know like, oh, the objective has fallen, fall back to the beta, objective has fallen, fall back to Charlie Point. And then that way it's an audio cue and a visual cue to relay that. It's just that I didn't want to wait any longer to let people on Steam play it. 'Cause it's been like a week and a half since they've had a public patch, besides the ones that we've been playing almost every day on Discord, just trying to drill down the bugs and refine the experience. So yeah, you have make a perfect point, and that's something that I'm going to be working on. Quivly asked the question, would there be later, question 1, would there be later done in game a tooltip guidebook to allow us to check which key controls there are, as well as how to use certain features? So for your first question, that's coming in the UI pass. So we're going to be doing keybinds for reals, adding it so you can invert the camera controls because you can't do that currently, and then making it to where you can control the mouse sensitivity, the move speed, changing the initial keybinds, like all of that's coming. That's why I'm very keen on wrapping up these operators in the next 2 or 3 days going into Tuesday, Wednesday. And then at that point, we're going straight into the UI. And then after the UI, I want to put the Juggernaut in, do a little bit of AI bug fixes, and then start phase 2. Because at this point, you guys can see it, I can see it, is that we need to spend a couple of days to just add in the jug and improve some amount of the decision making for the AI. Because they're okay, but they could be better. And that's going to increase the difficulty and have them make more meaningful tactical decisions. And bringing in the Juggernaut is the bare minimum that's required before we start bringing in the airstrikes and the vehicles and the other passive upgrades. Now, one thing that we didn't really hit upon that much is that this week or the last couple of days, we also snuck in some changes behind the scenes to allow Michael to change mutilators so that their melee damage and the standard and the health infected change as the waves go on. So like Killing Floor or like Call of Duty Zombies, by wave 20 they get a 10% boost. By wave 30, it's probably like 30 or whatever. Like the idea is that they get a 50% boost of health by the end of the game, so they get stronger. And the ramification of the reasoning for that was to make it to where your units are getting stronger, you're bringing more units on the field, you're exerting more power on the field. There needs to be some kind of like match equaling, like because your units gain health as they level. Your units are getting stronger as they're alive and longer on the field. So we felt that was important to implement, and we kind of snuck that in the last 2 or 3 builds on Discord that we've been doing to basically just kind of like give Michael some tools there to also balance it. And the melee damage and the health are definitely going to be increased because they're not nearly high enough for like mid to late game fights of like the amount of health that you get on a per level basis from level 1 to level 5 for like every unit in the game, the assault, the winters and all of them. It's not equal. So that's also something that Michael's going to be tweaking alongside doing the attachments, because what you guys play tonight is not going to be representative of the final attachments. There's some missing, and the balance is not final. So some attachments will definitely gain or like lose some modifiers here and there as he's just kind of balancing it and playing it himself. Now for the second question that Quivley had, given operators stagger enemies on bullet hits, should different calibers have different strengths of effect? Like the sniper shotgun causing, yeah. So that's already what we're doing. Is the idea is that like there's different like chances for every weapon. The hit critical chance is ultimately what causes the stagger. We probably need to tune that a little bit more to where it doesn't happen every single shot. But what you're saying is in alignment with what we're thinking. That's why we have the critical hit chance and the critical hit damage. The critical hit chance is the idea is that it causes a chance to cause like a more like fatal stagger. And the critical hit damage is just how much damage you get extra. And then regardless to a certain point, we wanted to still have the Resident Evil 4 approach where if you hit someone, you have a reaction. Otherwise, everyone feels like a bullet sponge. It feels like Division. It feels like Destiny, where you're just shooting something and there's no immediate reaction. So to a certain degree, most of the guns are going to have some kind of response, even if it's minor. Otherwise, it's going to feel like a game from like 2005, where it's like there's nothing happening and there's no response and everything feels floaty and blocky, clunky kind of deal, where it's like, I'm shooting a guy that has 5,000 health, and then you can't even tell you're hurting him kind of deal. So that was the biggest idea from a design standpoint, to just kind of address that and to make sure that playing as the operators in third person felt rewarding on its own. Silent Song asked the question is, after losing the objectives, the entire remaining population is moving to the next objective at once. So once that happens, I propose the infected remain in the area for an additional 30 seconds before they continue in an effort to get people a chance to get some sort of defense operational or allow buildings in the next area only. That is actually something that I'm going to be looking into in the early part of next week, because that's something that I have earmarked as well that artificially inflates the difficulty. Because if you don't immediately have the next horde objective set up before they come, 9 out of 10 times you're already dead. It doesn't actually give you enough time to retreat and to plan and to like prepare for the next onslaught. And as you saw with the new spawn rates, it's going to be unforgiving in terms of basically the speed that these infected are going to be like, one goes, immediately move on. All active and participants in the battle go immediately to the second zone. They don't wait. They don't give you a moment to catch your breath. So if you didn't like, honestly, it's so brutal that if you don't like hedge your bets and build at least one objective back at any given time, you're probably going to lose. So that could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. And I'm kind of leaning your direction, Song, about potentially having more redundancy there to kind of have like a stopgap or like a parachute there to kind of like help it make it a little bit too not as hard. But I want to see what people say and then go from there. I think at the base minimum, I would increase it to that when an area folds, it would basically give you longer until the zone starts damaging your units. So at least make that 60 seconds instead of the current 20 seconds base minimum. I think that I should make it to where they don't switch spawners until the next wave, so they don't spawn ahead of you in some cases. But I'm still debating about having it to where everyone just waits around and then they have a minimum threshold before they're allowed to move on to the next objective. I think that the first two are enough. And the third one, I'll have to wait and see around Tuesday, Wednesday, how things feel and how the balance is and what people are saying. And then at that point, I'll make a decision in terms of like my initial idea was not enough for the first two suggestions that I put forth there. So for Silver, for your question about the infected creating towers in the zone, yes, I'm going to be putting in gas towers as a polish item to give a visual indicator of this zone is contaminated, that you cannot enter this zone, you're going to die if you enter this zone. So yeah, that's something that I'm kind of saving as like an icing on the cake kind of thing to just solidify these why they're a red zone. And it would be a feedback loop back in the pandemic people are more accustomed to that are coming from like the legacy versions. So the question on YouTube, I have a question. Will the guard tower with the RNR2 heavy machine gun upgrade? All you get is those 3 base guns, and that's it. You get the Scar, you get the M107, and you get the M249, and that's all we have planned for the guard tower in terms of like just a default 3 rolls of like range, suppression with the LMG, and just general all-rounder Scar basically. So I'll take a couple more questions, and then we're going to start to wrap this up. Is there anyone else that had questions on either platform before we get to a close? Let's see. Let me check my notes too. See if there's anything else that I breezed over. I can give a little more. Oh, what I will do to just kind of fill the air to give people some time to ask a question is keep in mind for the hub, we're going to be adding in like a Ready or Not themed, like something like Ready or Not. That's going to basically be like a gun range in that empty area where the armor is, the gunsmith is. So to keep in mind that area is going to kind of be the area where you can go and shoot your weapons and test the stats and see how they're handling. If you're that RTS guy, if you're an operator, like TPS guy that wants to just stress test a gun, see how you'd like an attachment. And we're kind of looking at Ready or Not as the golden standard of like being able to configure the distances and having a button and having like a couple of different lanes. So that way players can jump in, test the gun, try different operators, see how they feel, and then make informed decisions of like, oh, I like that shotgun. I like that pistol. You know, something that makes it to where you don't actually have to go into a mission to actually be able to like see how it feels. Just kind of go from there. And keep in mind, earlier in the video of this VOD, we showed the UI. Please take a look at the UI, see if there's any other questions or concerns you guys have, because again, that's going to be the UI that we're going to be implementing for RTS. And then we'll be showcasing a new third-person UI and the gunsmith UI after that. So again, the priority is RTS, getting the pause menu, the options, the keybinds, the video options, getting all of that back in. And then we'll move on to the operator last for the UI. Let's see, the couple people writing a question. I'll take that last question. And then at that point, we're going to conclude. And then I'll basically work on getting the that build up. Actually, let me start working on that build too. I'm going to just make those quick changes for the time real quickly. And then Silent Song is still writing, so I'll give him a moment to finish writing. The squad menu, this is what Silent Song said. The squad menu I find is fine as is and out of the way, but I find it too out of the way. Will it be added to a hotkey? Let me think about that. So you think that the battlefield approach of having like an escape menu and then you go into the squad menu is like a little too unintuitive, like it's too slow based off of the pace of the game. So you were advocating for more of like you press a key while you're playing, like say L or P, and then that pops up, and then from there you get your mouse and you're able to like configure whatever you're going to configure, and then you let go of L, or maybe it's a toggle. Or you tap L to open it, and then you tap L to close it. Something like that, basically, is what you're advocating for. Let me think about that. On face value, it sounds fine. I just need to brainstorm a couple things about that, but I don't see why not. Okay, so I increased the delay before the first wave. I'm going to go for a minute initially, and then we'll just see how that feels. I feel like anything longer than a minute is going to be too easy. So let me go ahead and start cooking that build for you guys, and then I'll just keep an eye out for the other issues. If I can rectify those going into tonight or on Monday. Quively asked the hotkey and the options. Okay, I will notate that down and keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to conclude it there. We're going to be switching over to a playtest on Discord for the people that do want to play with us. Anyone's welcome to play that has the game on Steam. Just feel free to just pop on the Discord. We'll be in the voice comms room. We'll be starting in the next 10 to 15 minutes. I want to thank everyone for coming to the podcast today and throwing out their opinions and their questions, and the people that are going to watch it and post on the YouTube and leave their comments, suggestions, and whatnot. If you guys want to support development outside of buying the base game, consider checking out our Patreon, buying one of the support packs on Steam, or consider checking out the book on Amazon. There's different ways of supporting us. We appreciate any support that you guys give us and the feedback and the time of effort, the time of day you guys give us to come here and have this dialogue. And especially the people that have been sitting on Discord every fucking day this week. We have like 8-10 people in a room just playing the game, having a good time, talking about the game. So those guys are amazing. You guys are watching in post. I appreciate that. That is invaluable as a game developer to sit there and talk to people and gain perspective in terms of what the concerns and the issues people have. So I can take it into consideration and then just having real conversations in terms of like some aspects of development. So thank you guys. And I'll be live on my personal Twitch in the next 15 minutes with the playtest we're going to be doing. We're going to try and beat it tonight. Anyhow, catch you guys later.